Hi, my name is Wolfgang Minatti and I'm a PhD researcher at the European University Institute. This is a short introduction to my article Legitimate Governance in International Politics, which was recently published in a Review of International Studies. How are governing actors in international politics legitimized? From prior research, we know that legitimacy, the belief that a given rule ought to be, matters. Legitimacy makes governance more stable and efficient. It fosters acceptance and support and even drives institutional change. To explain how governance actors become legitimized, international relations scholars have developed what I call the sources of legitimacy model. The core premise goes like this. If a governing actor's sources of legitimacy, most importantly specific governance procedures or performances, resonate with a given audience, this ensures legitimate and stable governance. But someone's source of legitimacy might be someone else's source of illegitimacy, especially when dealing with multiple audiences, as rulers do in international politics. Also, expectations as to what legitimate governance entails might often be at odds with the standard liberal focus on procedures and output. Finally, these expectations may even change as audiences in international politics are exposed to legitimation efforts of various actors. Audiences compare them against each other, and that possibly alters their beliefs. Thus, in this article, I discuss two shortcomings in the existing literature. IR scholarship on legitimation frequently relies on pre-specified categories of sources, such as the performance-procedure dichotomy. And secondly, it treats change in actors' expectations, such as why a population comes to see democratic procedures as meaningful, as exogenous to the legitimation process. Thus, there remains a noticeable gap in explaining important puzzles of legitimation research. How can we study legitimation within the diverse contexts that make up international politics without a prior theoretical idea of what potential sources of legitimacy may be? And in what ways are processes of legitimation caught up within the broader network dynamics of international politics? To address these questions, this article makes a synthesis of the existing IR legitimation literature with relational theory. Notably, my aim is not to explain the effects of legitimacy on social relations, but rather to conceptualize how the process of legitimacy comes about. I do so in 3 steps. First, I argue that our theories of legitimation should not focus on governing actors' sources of legitimacy, but rather on audiences' expectations about what constitutes rightful rule. Second, legitimation should be conceptualized as a process of congruence finding, a contestation over the normative expectations about governance of a governing actor and an audience. Actors continuously evaluate the discursive and material manifestations of their governance relation to see whether they meet their normative expectations. Third, through such ongoing contestations and evaluations, actors' expectations may change endogenously to legitimation processes via causal mechanisms such as diffusion or persuasion, which work both at the level of a given governance relation as well as the wider governance network. Ultimately, the more congruence a relation shows, I argue, the more stable it will be. I developed this theory in full in the article. My theory thus contributes to the existing literature in several ways. It reconciles the diversity of expectations of rightful governance within international politics with the sources of legitimacy literature by putting actors' relationally grounded expectations center stage. Also, the theory builds on recent studies embedding legitimation in larger social structures by conceptualizing actors' expectations about rightful governance as patterns that spread through governance networks via a range of mechanisms. This sums up the article. Should this short introduction have sparked your interest, do give the article a read and of course reach out for any comments or questions you might have. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.